The AT&T router is just straight up ass. That's probably not news to most, but yesterday I just got fiber installed and I have it in front of my firewall, my FortiGate firewall, and my internet just kept dropping over and over. Now with my previous internet service provider, I had my modem on a pass-through mode, so it's just layer 2 mode, which just means that it just lets all the data through. It does nothing with it, just straight through, which is what I want, but you can't do that on the AT&T router. Now it has a pass-through feature, but it was still doing some firewall rules and other shit with my traffic that made the connection just keep dropping over and over, but intermittently, and it's just horrible. So we're taking that out with this. So this not so little SFP here, you connect the fiber in there, it has a cover on it right now, and it actually it even has a heatsink for it because it gets that hot. But this is going to pretend to be that AT&T router so we can take it out. But first, we need to program it. Let's go. So this cool little guy does have its own web interface, but we need to plug into it. And obviously, the laptop does not have a fiber interface. So I'm plugging it into a switch and then plug in my laptop into the switch so we can get to it. So if for any reason you want to do this, you go to upon the wiki, and I'm going to be following this guide here. But first, we need to flash the firmware on the little SFP. Well, not so little. And this guide does not run any DHCP, so if you need to connect to it, you're going to have to manually assign your address to this network, but not that IP, of course. And I just find it so cool that this whole web interface is being hosted in this thing, in that thing right now. Okay, so to get the firmware, you're supposed to go to their GitHub, and then you can install this onto the SFP. But I just realized mine already came with the latest one installed, which is awesome. So I would recommend not the one I got, because apparently that listing is already gone. But at least it was overnight shipping. But this is basically the same listing, about the same price. All right, so now I just need to put the information from my router. There's a few stickers underneath it that'll give me the values of this stuff that I need into this to program it into the SFP. All right, so it should be ready. So for now, until I get a new FortiGate that I can directly put the SFP into, I'm going to use this little tiny 108 switch as an upstream switch. So we're going to plug in AT&T, unplug this, plug it in here, and this switch will put it into the WAN 2 port of this FortiGate. All right, here we go. That looks different. All right. And man, it is so hard to do this with one hand right now. But I think we got it. I saw the light come on. Though I am scared of this pinching this at some point from it slamming close, so I'm just gonna remove this door. All right, let's go check if we got connectivity and I can switch over to AT&T. Again, I know this is only gonna be 1 gig for now, and I know this looks like shit. I promise this is temporary. I promise. All of these great cables coming out, they're doing nothing. It's been a couple days and it's like 1 a.m., but I finally got it working. So the problem wasn't with the SFP or the software in it or the configuration or any of that. The problem was, this is the FortiGate I had in place. No SFP ports. So I had a switch above it, basically. Plugging the SFP here and then a switch from here to my WAN port. And the DHCP, the address was never going to be assigned or wasn't passing through from my WAN port through the switch to the SFP to AT&T. So that might be a lot to chew, but basically my firewall would ask AT&T for an IP, or at least it would try to, and the switch would drop that request. I have no idea why. I kept trying a whole bunch of stuff to try and figure out what, but it just wasn't passing through. And eventually I figured, you know what? I have other firewalls around. So I stole one from my lab. I had an HA pair here. Don't pay attention to that. I had an HA pair of FortiGates here of 91Gs, and this one does have a fiber port. Now I wasn't 100% certain that the switching in between being used as like a media converter was the issue. Turns out it was. So I converted the configuration from my old firewall to this new one. The SFP is plugged into this one, and sure enough, boom! AT&T gave us an IP. It's up and running. This is still gonna get replaced again with a 200G, because this one only gonna give me like 2 gigs of throughput out of the 5 I'm paying for. It's good, except for now. I know that XGS PUN SFP, that's a whole word scramble. I know it works, and I don't need the stupid AT&T router anywhere near my network. Why did I do this to myself? Okay, thanks, bye.